Welcome everyone to another video in the Deeper Than the Headlines series. I'm CJ Wolf with Healthicity, and it is the end of the holidays when we're recording this. A lot of us aren't checking our emails and newsletters and subscriptions and those sorts of things during the holidays, but around December 27th, HHS announced that they would be making a proposed change to some of the HIPAA security rules. Specifically, they've called this HIPAA security rule to strengthen the cybersecurity of electronic protected health information. So this is a notice of proposed rulemaking. So they've issued a proposed rule is what all of us would say. That was done on December 27th, but on January 6th, it was published in the Federal Register. So we'll include a link in the video here to the Federal Register where you can read it, the proposed rule in its entirety. And here at Healthicity, we will do some other written assets or webinars to kind of dive a little bit deeper into this. But just to get your New Year's juices flowing, let's give you a little bit of sample of a little bit beyond the headline of that there's a new proposed rule. A lot of things that they've done in the proposed rule is they've either clarified definitions of keywords or they've added definitions. So let me just give you a few examples. There's a whole lot. But safeguards, right? We hear about administrative safeguards, technical safeguards, physical safeguards. Let's just kind of give you a flavor of what they're adjusting in that word safeguards. And let's just use administrative safeguards as the example. The HHS says that the existing definition of administrative safeguards does not expressly relate the administrative actions to the policies and procedures addressing the activities covered by the definition, nor does it make clear that the policies and procedures are in addition to the administrative actions. So they're gonna adjust. These are minor adjustments to the words, but what they're trying to do is clarify that for example, in the case of administrative safeguards, that what they're proposing relates administrative actions to the administrative policies and procedures. They say that the department believes that this change would reduce confusion and improve clarity about compliance obligations. They go on to talk about how they're proposing a similar change to the definitions of physical safeguards and technical safeguards. Another example, authentication. This is a key word in the HIPAA security rule, authentication. And the current definition defines authentication as corroboration that a person is the one claimed, that the person who's claiming to be who they are is who they are. And the department feels that by limiting this definition of authentication to quote unquote persons, that the current definition neglects to acknowledge the importance of the security of EPHI of authenticating. So they're going to modernize this definition to reflect best practices that are in cybersecurity today, to mean that authentication is means to corrupt the corroboration that either a person or technology asset is the one they are claiming to be, because it's not always persons. It might be technology assets that we need to authenticate. So just some little tweaks here. Another one, they've never defined before risk, right? We hear about a HIPAA security risk analysis, and that's a requirement, right, in the HIPAA security rule. And so the department had never defined the term risk before. They felt that everyone knew what that meant. It was commonly understood. So the department is now proposing to define this term risk, and they define it as the extent to which the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of EPHI is threatened by a potential circumstance or event. So they believe that by defining the term this way, it would clarify several existing and proposed provisions of the security rule, such as the one that I mentioned, the importance of and the requirement to conduct a required risk analysis. So without a definition of risk before, did we all really know what risk was? So if we're doing a risk analysis, we need to know that definition. So the department's proposing to define that term risk, which they'd never done before. Last one I'll give you as an example here. And then again, hundreds of pages in this rule. We'll do more. Just wanted to give you an idea of what they're doing. The term workstation. So that was a defined term before. The department currently defines the term workstation as to mean an electronic computing device and provides examples of technology that dominated that term and dominated that in healthcare environment in 2003 and 2013. What were those things that were workstations back then? Laptop, desktop computer, other devices that perform similar functions, and electronic media stored in its immediate environment. Now, a lot of us that are in this space, as technology has advanced, have also said, yeah, that includes our phones, right? It didn't specifically mention phones in the rule previously as an example. So this environment has changed. And the environment now includes both physical and virtual environments, right? Think of the pandemic. And this environment has mobile devices, other types of devices, such as multifunctional workstations. Clinicians and other workforce members often rely on smartphones, smart watches, tablets, laptops, and even personal digital assistants, among other devices. So these devices have proliferated, and so has their ability to perform a wide variety of functions with increasing sophistication, is what the rule says. So what the department's proposing is to modify the definition of workstation to provide additional examples of what constitutes a workstation. For example, a server, a virtual device, a mobile device, such as a smartphone or tablet. So these are examples of how they're trying to update these terms that, when they were defined or used in 2003 or 2013, might not be exactly what the common person thinks of today in 2024, 25, for now, and Happy New Year, 2025. Those are just some examples of some of the things that are in this proposed rule. Again, hundreds of pages, but stay tuned to Healthicity and our resources as we write more about this this proposed rule, and as we talk about it in webinars. And then we'll see what happens when it moves from a proposed rule to a final rule. So thanks for listening, everybody, to this Deeper Than the Headlines video. Until next time, take care.